told. Listen. What's up? Welcome to Truth Be Told, where every man is king and the truth unfolds, and every word spoken comes from the soul, and the audience members love to take control. No topic is taboo, we talk about it all, and the host so funny you gon' shout and fall out your seat. Your life's not complete without a moment of truth. Once every 2 weeks, and we speak like none other. Educated real brothers, family style for you, your kids and your mother, and we love to gain your trust. Just sit right down, relax and enjoy. This is where the truth is found. Truth be told. What up? What up? What up?
Yup, here we are.
What's going on? Welcome to Truth Be Told, where every man is king.
That's right.
Sometimes. Starting right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I am one of your hosts. I go by the name of RealEyez and Sundjata. What up? How you doing? What's good?
Yep, and I'm Sundjata say cool. Peace and blessings.
The one and the only, Mr. Hip Hop with Substance right there. We want to welcome y'all back from last week. Thank you for joining us again. We got a great show lined up for y'all tonight. As always, you know how we like to start. It's good, brother. How's your week?
Good.
Good? Good.
I'm good.
Oh, okay. That's right. Very straight to the point.
But I kind of, Brother Sundjata is kind of like been going at the president somewhat. And his war plans on the Instagram, Truth Be Told Tuesday. I've been going hard on it because I don't know how a man with a Nobel Prize can start doing nonsense like this. But we're gonna go into it.
On his way out too. All right. Well, my week has been my week as usual, and that's that. So welcome back. Hopefully y'all had a great week. You know we do this every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's right.
Right here on for now Ustream, you know what I'm saying? We want to thank you guys for joining us as usual, and shout out to everybody in the chat room and people that will be joining the chat room a little bit later. So tonight we've decided to tackle something a little serious, try to take a little light though. We wanted to discuss what's going on with Syria.
That's right.
And how it's affecting basically everything.
Armageddon.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it's looking like. For those of you who are not aware, I'll bring you up to speed as best that I can. You know, I'm not super into politics, but I know a little something. Basically, I believe on August 21st, Syria. Well, let me break this down a little bit better. The current reigning regime in Syria tried to bomb
the government of Syria. Come on, give them their props.
The government regime. Okay,
the government.
The government of Syria.
Yes.
Allegedly, but not so allegedly, chemically bombed.
According to the United States.
Well, that's what the alleged is for.
No, you said not so alleged.
No, allegedly, not so allegedly.
Not
allegedly to some people. Allegedly to some people.
Okay.
So yes, the U.S. believes that they chemically bombed the rebels that are fighting against the government.
So the U.S. says, because the U.S. want to get into the fight.
Right. So, being as though they did this, the U.S. now feels like they have to take action. When I say the U.S., I'm talking about the President of these United States, President Obama, who I'm sure is getting pressured from people in his cabinet or what have you. But regardless, you're in charge of the country currently until you're not. And he's trying to get approval from the rest of the government to go in and do these missile strikes, these airstrikes.
Don't do it, Obama. Don't do it. Don't let these war hawks send you to war and kill the little legacy that you have. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's kind of obvious, really. Like, war is big business.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of money made off of war. So this is why it's a movement that continues moving forward.
That's right.
I mean, it's my personal opinion. I think you agree with me on that.
Yes. War is big business.
Because you were saying that's right. So, you know, this is how we look at it. A lot of people are against this war, obviously. You know, people are feeling like, yo, it's basically civil war.
Right.
They have this unrest. Let them do what they need to do. Like, countries have civil war all the time, and the U.S. doesn't involve themselves. So why is it so important now for us to involve ourselves in this particular one?
Because of Israel.
Because of Israel. Now, you know, in Africa, there's tons of civil wars.
All the time.
And the U.S. does what? Nothing. They say, hey, somebody should do something about that over there. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, us, we're a couple of conspiracy theorists anyway. I was watching the clip that you posted on the page.
Which one?
About the ex-general.
Oh, the general, that's right.
Talking about the countries that the
Wesley
U.S.
Clark, General Wesley Clark.
The countries that the U.S. plan to invade.
Right.
And it's like there's not any particular reason except for the fact that these countries have petroleum.
Right.
They want the gas. They want the natural gas in these countries, and they're trying to find ways to get in.
Oil.
Excuse me. Yeah.
Oil and natural gas, yes.
So I don't want to say that I agree with that specifically, but I do agree with the fact that I think we're kind of butting in somewhere we don't belong right now. You know what I mean? Also, there are some other issues involved. I believe Russia is backing the government of Syria.
As they should.
Right? And Russia, as we all know, still has WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. Just like America does, by the way. I'd like to throw that out there. I was thinking about that recently.
America has most in the world.
We have the most in the world, and we're trying to run and tell everybody else to get rid of theirs. But whatever. I watched something on TED today, the website.
TED, okay.
And it was a gentleman
Talks.
Yeah, I was a gentleman talking about nuclear destruction and the reason why, nuclear war hasn't broken out is something called MAD, mutually assured destruction.
Yes.
Because basically it's like, okay, well, if we shoot these missiles over there, they're going to see us shoot them. So they're going to shoot their missiles and everybody dies.
Okay, so let me break in there. So if that is the philosophy for not nuclear weapons, why would then the United States tell Syria, if you use chemical weapons, we're coming in there? Now, why then would the government of Syria launch chemical weapons against the people that they're fighting if the U.S. already tells them that they're coming in if they launch it?
I see where you're going. So what you're saying is that basically they probably didn't launch these chemical weapons.
Why would they?
Yeah, because why would you tell, basically, arguably, no, actually not even arguably, the biggest military force
in
on
the
this
world.
planet.
That's right.
That, you know what, we heard what you said.
Right.
But guess what? We're bad.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway. Yeah, like, I don't see it happening. But all of a sudden, according to the news outlets in America, who controls the news outlets.
Turn off CNN.
This is what happened, so now we have to go in. That's the same thing they said before about the whole situation.
WMD.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Have we forgotten that already? 10 years ago.
So, currently, this is one of the situations that's going on. A lot of people, had no idea this stuff was going. You know what? It's truth be told. I had no idea this was going on until recently. And, thank you to my fellow Facebook people who were putting stuff on their statuses. Like, you guys are aware that we might be going to World War III, right? And you're talking about Miley Cyrus. And I'm like, oh.
Twerk.
Wow.
Call me Miley Twerk.
You know what I'm saying? So I actually looked into it. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, we're a few days away from possibly, going to, like, full-fledged war. Which is why on tonight's show, we have a survival guide to nuclear war. We'll get to that in a little bit. All right.
The whole issue, what I don't like with this is, remember that demonstration they had over in New York? Some Wall Street. What was it?
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street. Remember that. Let's just use Occupy Wall Street as an example. Those are people that was disgruntled with the government, disgruntled with the economic system, correct? Now, say Russia saw that, and then Russia decides to give those people weapons, right? Would that be correct for Russia to do?
No.
Okay. So what happened is these people are disgruntled with Syria, like most people are who live in countries. You're going to get some people who don't like what the government is doing. So what the United States did, they start funding these rebels. They start sending these rebels weapons.
Sounds familiar.
Yes. They did it in Afghanistan. They did it in a whole bunch of different places. Matter of fact, they even made a movie about it, what they did in Afghanistan.
Isn't that the Al-Qaeda? Isn't that how they got...
Al-Qaeda. There you go, brother. You know more than you know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
The Al-Qaeda, what happens with Al-Qaeda? This is a brief history. I know most of you don't like history. What happened with Al Qaeda is that Russia invaded Afghanistan, and then the United States started supply the Mujahideen, that's the Islamic warriors, with weapons. Those people wind up, many of them started to hate America because they felt like America abandoned them after the war was over. And one of those people was Osama bin Laden. Fast forward. Brother, fast forward for you. Okay, now the script never changed, just the actors. Brother Sundjata just put you up on the game. All right, the script never changed, just the actors. So what happened is the United States, they don't like the Syrian government. The Syrian government don't get along with Israel. Israel don't get along with another group called Hezbollah. Hezbollah, Syria, and Iran don't get along with Israel. So Hezbollah is based in Lebanon, Syria is in Syria, Iran is in Iran. So the plan is to give Israel a buffer zone from its enemies. So how you do that is, you get rid of Syria. So America, these troops, they start fighting, and then America starts supplying them with weapons, but it's turned into a stalemate. Unlike Libya, where they supply troops and the troops are able to overthrow the government because the government didn't have basically a sitting army, here the government has a sitting army, and the government is firing back, shooting back, and they're not having it. So America wanted to get into this war, so now this thing of chemical weapons come about. But what happens with most people in politics, they're short-sighted. Because as you say, Russia is back in Syria. China is back in Syria. So what happens is, what if you now start a war with Syria? That's going to bring Russia and China in the mix. And then you're going to have the United States on its own against Syria, Hezbollah, Iran, Russia, and China, because they had a vote in England, and the English Parliament said they don't want no part of this.
Nothing to do with it.
They don't want nothing to do with this war whatsoever. So you know what that means, brother? You got to lace up those boots. They could be drafting you.
They won't be drafting me.
No?
No. I wasn't born in this country.
Did you get
naturalized? Yes.
And don't you have selective service? You have to register for selective service to get school loans?
I will go back to Britain that fast. I'm out.
You'll be a draft dodger.
No, not if I go before they implement the draft. I'm watching I'm looking at the political waves. I see where it's moving. I see it.
Do what these people did now. What the war hawks were telling Obama and the rest of them to go to war. You know what they did?
What's that?
They went back to school.
Oh, if you're in
because
school?
you got a deferment. If you go back to school, like one of the big war hawks of in Bush administration was Cheney. He never went into a war, but he always was pushing for a war. And when his time was called for Vietnam, you know what he did?
Dodged it.
He went back to school.
Like dodgeball.
That's what you do. So now we're looking at a big old situation that the small part of the world in what's called the Middle East can be the jump off, the starting point to a big world war with United States versus Russia, China, Hezbollah, Iran, and Syria. So that's where we are.
So we'd be screwed.
I don't know. The U.S. military is very big, like the biggest military in the world.
Yeah.
The U.S. the army is the biggest army in the world, and in terms of manpower and weaponry, the Navy of the United States is the second biggest. So it's very big, but people in this country are tired of wars. Like, that's what Obama was preaching.
But this is my thing. Like, if we go to war and we're by ourselves, that's great. But as we were talking about off camera, I don't feel as if that, you know, the wars are going to be like the wars of old, where we're just sending troops somewhere to fight. Like, this is why I brought this nuclear readiness plan.
Great idea, brother.
I feel like, especially when you have people like Russia getting involved,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, look, it's just this quick before somebody's sending up a missile and then we have a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Wait, before you went, let me make a disclaimer here. I don't want the government to charge us with sedition. Sedition is that we are against their war or against their plans or we're working for the enemy. So let me make a disclaimer. This is only for entertainment purposes.
But hold on. So it's illegal to not want the country to go to war?
You can be arrested and tried as a traitor and an enemy. It's called sedition.
You're joking.
Let me give you another history example.
Wow.
The person who started the Nation of Islam, well, the person who took over the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was preaching against the World War II. The government found out he was preaching against it. They went to arrest him, and he served about 4 or 5 years because he was preaching against World War II.
Yo, so what happened to freedom of speech?
There's no freedom of speech when there's a war, brother. You know, freedom of speech is very limited.
Wow.
And it's definitely no freedom of speech when there's a war. That's why, for those historians that follow Malcolm X, that's what Malcolm X was about, and they were going into Vietnam. Malcolm X was like, he was inferring that we don't want them to charge us with sedition, then he'll go around telling them why they shouldn't go. Right? So he'll say, if you want to be dumb as your uncle went to World War II or your brother went to Korea, go ahead and be dumb. So if you want to be dumb and join the military and go fight for oil and gas and rich corporations to benefit, you go be dumb. But let me just make this is only for entertainment purposes. I don't want the government charging us with sedition.
Truth be told, it's for the people, man. We for the people. So I'll have to watch how I speak. Thank you for that information.
Yes.
I wasn't aware. All right. So what do you do in case of nuclear fallout? What do you do?
I don't
know. We'll go through our handy slideshow. I didn't enjoy these. I got this off of wikihow.com. You need a plan.
A plan.
All right. So you need a plan, right? Number one. All right.
One.
If a nuclear attack happens, it won't be safe to venture outside for food, obviously. So you should stay sheltered for at least 48 hours, or preferably longer, right? You need to have medical supplies, food, and basically you're going to have to focus on other aspects of survival. So some of the types of food you need to have is non-perishable items, because these items can last years without, refrigeration and things to that effect. Right. Some of the things listed, white rice, wheat, beans, sugar, oats, pasta, powdered milk, dried fruits and vegetables. It says.
Let me ask you a question. What about if a mouse is running around the house? Now think, brother, this is extreme circumstances.
You let that mouse eat, get nice and full, and
you roast them?
And you roast that mother effer, man. Listen, times is hard. Times is hard. You do what you got to do.
What about a cat?
Listen, man.
Same thing apply? And a dog.
There's some people that do that now.
There you go. There you go.
So, that's a delicacy in certain parts of the world.
So the family pet is all in.
Well, man, there's probably emotional ties. If you want to kidnap your neighbor's pet, though, it's up to you.
Oh, okay,
all right.
Good.
Now, mind you, this is before nuclear war happens, right? So this is like something, honestly, you should probably go do this like tomorrow and just have this stuff in case. And this also, honestly, this preparation plan doubles for like anything. Like it could be like another Katrina, so on and so forth. It's just a matter of being prepared for an emergency, right? There's actually stuff, I have a plan for after a nuclear attack. That's later on. All right, so build these items up slowly. You should be able to basically have like at least 2 to 3 months worth of non-perishable items to survive on in case you can't get out. You can't make it to some place where there's food. All right. I have a can opener, obviously. All right. Water. You can't have too much water. That's the obvious one. You know what I'm saying? You got to have water. You can live longer off food than you can off water.
Right.
If I believe that's correct. The human body's like 73% water or something like that.
You need your water. Need agua.
Yeah. So no, not beer. Water. All right. All right. For purifying water in the event of an attack, keep basic household bleach and potassium iodide.
You gonna put bleach in the water?
This is what it says. It says aim to have 1 gallon per person per day of water. And we don't even drink that much today, regular.
Right.
All right. Next, you gotta have communication supplies. right? If there's an attack or something, electricity might go out. That means there's no phone, there's no internet. That means there's no cell phones because cell phone towers run off of electricity. So your cell phone might work, but it's not gonna have no service.
So what do you do?
It says get a radio. Try to find one that's crank. They're taking the old school crank or solar powered. If you have to go with a battery operated model, be sure to keep spare batteries on hands. Consider getting the NOAA weather radio as well. They will broadcast emergency information 24 hours a day.
You fellas, you know who I'm scared of doing for this if a nuclear attack happens?
Who?
Those girls that wear a lot of makeup. What you got for them, brother?
Oh, because they're not going to be able to have electricity for light to see themselves.
Put on the makeup. The man is probably not going to recognize this person.
Shoot to kill. Shoot to kill, man. Look, you're out there. Boom! Oh, snap. Oh.
So you're saying get a gun too?
I'm sorry.
It's not. You gotta get a gun.
It's not in here. I'm not saying you should get guns.
No. Now that the U.S. there's a possibility. Are you advising the people to go out and get a gun?
Well, this is the thing. We've all seen the movies with all that stuff that happens when
I Am Legend.
You know, like you have to protect yourself. Not even from like any possible invaders, but you know, Tom from next door that you used to play poker with might try to stab you to steal your water.
Right.
Because his kids are dying.
Or your woman.
Or your woman. I'm gonna leave that alone. But your woman might try to kill you.
You seen Mad Max Road Warriors in these movies?
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. You never know what can happen. So be prepared. Crossbows, guns, what have you. It says have a whistle. You can use this to signal for help. Your cell phone, cell service may or may not be maintained, but you'll want to be ready if it is, if you can find a solar charger for your model. All right. Stock up on medical supplies. Obviously. Basic first aid kit. A first aid instruction booklet, which makes sense. Because you might have a first aid kit, but if you don't know what to do with the stuff, doesn't matter. All right. Prescription medications. If you take a specific medication every day, try to have emergency backup. Makes sense. That especially if you figure like for older folk, you know, if your auntie needs to take something every day, I don't think the pharmacy is going to be open if there's some sort of natural disaster or major emergency. So,
what are the roles here? Like, what is the man's role in this situation? What is the woman's role?
I don't know, bro.
What are the children's role?
Listen, it depends on your household. You know, there are households where the female is the strong one in the family. You know what I'm saying? So
what will her role be, you think?
I don't know. Go outside, beat up bears and stuff.
And drag them back?
Yeah, to eat. You got to eat. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's really up to you. I mean, you could look at traditional roles, but it may not work. What if the male is killed in the natural disaster? So the mother's going to have to take on the role of the male and the mother. She's going to have to be the nurturer and the, you know, protector.
You know where the best place to go? Before the attack or even after?
Where's that?
The hood.
Why is that?
Because people been suffering without lights for years. Think about it, bro. Think about it.
Yeah.
Been suffering without lights. Sometimes food is not in the house. Sometimes a parent is not in the house. The survival skills of the hood. Come on, think about it.
It's like a major attack in every
think about it.
In America.
Think about it, bro.
Thing. You got a good point.
There's not a lot. There's a scarcity. People still work around these scarcities.
We find a way to get through it.
We find a way.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, man.
So places like Newark is gonna be flooded with people.
It's gonna be flourishing, man.
Places like Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy, gonna be flooding.
Word up.
Harlem World is gonna be flooding. Those are the places you go.
If you're not from there, you might not want to go there. If you're there already, then. All right. So other miscellaneous items: flashlights and batteries, dust masks, plastic sheeting and duct tape, garbage bags, wet wipes, a wrench and pliers to shut off utilities such as gas and water, because it could be tainted. The water might be tainted.
Right.
It says, if possible, if there's electricity, keep an eye on the news. I think in a situation where some major emergency, you might actually get the truth in those situations, because they're going to tell you don't go outside or evacuate or what have you.
Do you board up your windows?
Depends on the emergency. Depends on the emergency. If it is, God forbid, a nuclear attack, yeah, you do.
You board up your window.
Yeah, you try to insulate your house as much as possible so that none of the radiation can get in. If that's the case, I mean, if you're close enough for there to be radiation, you probably just need to leave. But if you can't leave, then you can't leave. You have to do what you can. Okay. All right. So it says many countries have a rating system to denote the imminence of attack. In the USA and Canada, for example, it may be useful to know the DEFCON level, which looks a little something like this. All right, so that was a little drawing of a guy looking at the TV, and it says DEFCON 2. I think DEFCON 3 isn't the highest though.
It isn't?
I don't, because I just watched White House Down, and it was like DEFCON 6.
Oh,
yeah.
They brought us or the
no, Olympus Has Fallen. I actually watched both of them.
They're like the same thing, aren't they?
It's the exact same premise.
It's the same, but
one
which one is Jamie Foxx?
That's White House Down.
Okay, I didn't see that one. I saw the other.
Olympus Has Fallen. I thought it was awesome.
With what's the
guy from 300? Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler. What's the black actress name? One played Tina
Morgan
Turner.
Freeman.
No. Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
She was in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that one. Yeah, that's the one I saw.
That was good too. All right. So
tell us, brother, after the nuclear attack.
Oh, after? Well,
after.
There's only 2 more left for this one.
Oh, okay.
All right. So next, assess your risk and consider evacuation if nuclear exchange is looking likely. So if you look out your window and you see this. It's a good point. Brother Sundjata just made a good point. If you see that out your window,
stop praying. Whoever you gotta pray to, whether it's Allah, whether it's God, whether it's Jehovah, you start praying because that's it for you.
Yeah, you're pretty much screwed. Airfields and naval bases, especially those known to house nuclear bombers, ballistic missile submarines, or ICBM silos, these are certain to be attacked or even in a limited nuclear exchange. In other words, it's saying places not to go. If you see that out your window, stay in your house. Don't go to any naval bases because why would they not attack a naval base?
That's what they did at Independence Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone was rushing to the Navy base. So we're in New Jersey now, so everyone will be trying to get to Fort Dix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go to any commercial ports and runways over 10,000 feet. Centers of government, obviously. So like the White House, why would they not attack the main center where our government is housed?
Right.
Any large industrial cities and major population centers like New York. You know what I mean? Don't go there. I don't think they would bomb Newark. I don't think they care.
No.
Yeah, they'd be like, leave that. That's good.
Everything would be going as normal. Kids would be going to school.
Regular. Everything would be normal.
Everything would be acting like it should flow.
All right. And then lastly, it says, I don't think anyone's going to do this, but it says learn about the different types of nuclear weapons. One is the fission bomb. It's the A bomb. Those are the bombs that were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, right? Then there's a fusion bomb, which is H bomb, which is way more powerful. They've actually never been used, right? But basically, I think they didn't give a specific amount, but I know it's way more powerful than the same bombs that were dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. So if it's a fusion bomb, you can ignore everything I just said because
a fusion bomb. The fusion bomb. You're dead.
Yeah, it's pretty much nothing.
And probably everyone in probably 15, 20, 30 mile radius is dead too.
All right. So now we get to surviving. We got a little while left. We're gonna go quickly. Seek shelter immediately. Aside from geopolitical warning signs, your first warnings of an imminent nuclear attack will most likely be an alarm or warning signal. If not, it will be the blast itself. So hopefully you'll get that warning signal, right?
The blast?
No, before the blast, or you're gonna have some problems if not, right? Yeah, take a look at this. He's a goner. He'd be gone. All right. It says if you can't find shelter, seek a depressed area nearby and lay face down, exposing as little skin as possible. If there is no shelter of this kind, dig as fast as possible. Even around 8 kilometers, 5 miles away, you will suffer third-degree thermal burns. Still at 32 kilometers, 20 miles, the heat can burn the skin off your body. 20 miles away from the epicenter. The heat can burn the skin off your
that's what I was
body.
telling you.
The wind itself will peak at around 900, basically 600 miles per hour,
Mm.
and will level anything or anybody caught in the open. Failing the above options, get indoors if and only if you can be sure that the building will not suffer significant blast and heat damage. This will at least provide some protection against radiation. Right.
If there's an option to save a loved one or save yourself, what are you gonna do, brother?
The loved one.
It's very noble.
It's not like it's not even a thought. Like automatically, if I could make sure that they're safe at the expense of my own life, you got something going.
That's very noble.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I would want to save a loved one, especially. Yeah, me and my wife, we 30-something years old. We've lived our life. Like, get my daughter. She's only 5.
Just give her a chance.
Give her a chance to grow up.
Yeah. I agree. Okay. So be aware that radiation exposure could cause a large number of deaths. Check this out.
I think I got 2 clouds like that.
So what it is on the left was the initial bomb, and then they were just basically crudely trying to show that the wind will carry the clouds, will carry radiation far from where the bomb is. So I was watching in that TED thing, he explained you need to walk, basically if the wind is going this way, you need to walk crosswise. Obviously you don't want to walk with it. So you either go away from the wind or you walk crosswise from the wind to try to avoid the fallout. Because even if you survive the initial blast, the fallout itself can kill you.
I'm just thinking that we're not ready for none of this stuff. Right?
And that's exactly what he said. He said even after 9/11, after Katrina,
after Sandy, we weren't ready for nothing.
We're not ready for any level of anything to happen to us on this level.
A rainstorm can put a hurting on the situation for going home or getting back from work or going to work. Can you imagine a nuclear blast? Oh man, it's I Am Legend.
Yeah.
You gonna be out there like Will Smith. I think we should watch those movies. I Am Legend. What's that one with Denzel? And Denzel was
watch all of the zombie movies. All my fellow nerds, we already know what to do if anything happens because we know about the zombie apocalypse. We know about
zombie apocalypse.
All right, so we know what to do in that situation. Everybody that makes fun of nerds, you will be the heroes when this stuff happens. So it's all good. So besides radiation, apparently it says if you survive the blast and initial radiation, you must find protection against the burning black soot that's going to be falling as well. So
you're goners.
Good luck.
We're goners.
It says know the types of radiation particles. There are 3 different types. Alpha particles. These are the weakest and during an attack are virtually non-existent as a threat. They will only survive for a couple of inches in the air before they are absorbed in the atmosphere. Beta particles are faster than alpha particles. They will travel up to 10 meters, 10 yards before they are absorbed in the atmosphere. Exposure to beta particles are not fatal unless exposed for prolonged periods, which may cause beta burns. And then, of course, like Dr. Banner, gamma rays.
Gamma rays.
Gamma rays are the deadliest. They can travel for nearly a mile in the air and penetrate just about any kind of shielding. Therefore, gamma radiation will cause severe damage to internal organs, even as an external source. Sufficient shielding will be required. All right?
You're dead.
Yeah.
You're dead.
All right?
You're dead. You should tell them to pray, bro. Because all of these variables are going to leave you little to no chance of surviving. Like if something went off in New York, like all the surrounding areas, like 20 to 25 miles, are going to be affected. And from what you're saying, you're going to have the wind after the initial blast. There's still like 4 or 5 things that's going to happen.
It depends on which way the wind is going, though. Because if the wind is going in a certain direction and you're not in that direction, you're good if you survive the blast. It's just a matter of where the wind carries that fallout. That fallout hits you, it's a wrap. Don't get caught in the open.
Because when they dropped the bomb on those 2 Japanese cities, you had 90,000 dead.
Combined on both.
Combined,
both
right.
It was 120-something thousand.
Oh, 120-something thousand dead. So you had that bomb that caused a radiation fire, from what I read, around the city, and everyone that was in there just burnt alive. Radiation burn. So that's more intense than a fire burn.
It's pretty horrible, actually.
What a way to go.
If you think about it. All right. Begin reinforcing your shelter from inside by stacking dirt around the walls or anything else you can find. If in a trench, then create a roof. Canvas from a parachute or tent will help stop fallout debris, but it will not stop gamma radiation. It's impossible at a very fundamental physical level to completely shield from any and all radiation. It can only be reduced to tolerable levels.
How you gonna know when it's safe to go outside?
It's timing. So if the bomb fell at 1 p.m. in the afternoon, then you have to wait at least 72 hours from then. Because by then, apparently, everything is dispersed in the atmosphere and safe. Now, mind you, again, that probably depends on how far or close you are to the initial epicenter. You know what I mean? If you're very close, it might be 3 to 4 weeks for you. That 72-hour thing is basically for, like, you know, if you're a few miles out from the blast.
Damn.
So if you survive the initial blast and you're within 5 miles of like the radius, you're stuck wherever you're at for months. Like they won't even be able to send people in for you in them suits because the radiation is so deep it will get through the suit.
Yes, no one else should suffer. No one else. And plus, most of the people who do those jobs are gonna be off anyway. They're gonna be gone. They're not gonna want to be doing those jobs because when Katrina happened, like most of the police officers, they quit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, most of them quit because they have families too. They have to look out for their families and they have to look out for themselves. Man. So, I would add an addendum to that, and I would say prayer. If you see a bomb, if you smell any type of radiation, I don't know, it's odorless.
Yeah, you can't
so
smell
if you start to burn, it's over. If you if you're near it,
oh, man.
and in a lot of the movies, Manhattan is always the place that the things jump off. So if you're near it, it's over. If
you're pretty much screwed.
It's done. You're done. So I would say add some prayer, and if you believe in the afterlife, that's it for you. You're gonna join the ancestors.
Well, this is the thing, though. You have to understand. It's not completely a wrap. These things can be survivable if you're prepared, and if you know what to do after the fact. You see what I'm saying? You hear them alarm. Listen, at my job, I don't know what it is that's across the street from us, or maybe it's not across the street, but it's so loud it sounds like it. They are always sending off that alarm.
What, drills? They're doing drills?
Yeah, the first time I heard it, I was scared out of my mind. I thought it was a nuclear war.
Right.
Like, it's the same ones you hear in the movie. Like,
you know what, bro? You don't hear that thing when the actual thing went down. I remember on 9/11, none of that went down. You remember that other thing that they used to do when we were growing up? Like, this is a test. And if you hear the emergency broadcast system, right? And you hear, none of that happened on 9/11, bro.
No, they did the emergency broadcast thing.
They did?
They did it.
Because I was down there 9/11.
In the city?
I was down there. I went to school down there.
Wow. I
was down there that morning. I was on my way to school that Tuesday morning when the first plane hit the building, and I thought it was a little plane, so I just kept on going. So what happened is the train went to New York and it stopped maybe I think because it went up to 33rd Street. So I didn't get as far as 33rd Street. So I had to go to New York and up by, what's that, 18th or 23rd? Well, one of those teen streets. The train stopped there and wouldn't go any further. So I got out, and then I asked the guy, what's going on? He said, man, they just hit the White House. This is what he told me at the time. They hit the White House, they hit the Pentagon, they hit the World Trade Center. You can still, when I came out the train station, one of the buildings are already down, and one was still up, and it was on fire. So I said, man, it's about to World War III. And then he just walked away he just walked away like nothing.
Serious?
And he just told me that. So when you see, like, I got down by St. Vincent Hospital. I think it was 14th Street. by St. Vincent Hospital. I don't know if that hospital's still open. St. Vincent Hospital. They had the gurneys outside waiting for people, and people were walking away from the building with soot all over them, right? Because 14th Street, it's not too far down there. So I walk, me being nosy, I walk down there all the way down to Canal Street, because Canal Street's like 2 blocks away. And
Yeah, you're black. What are you doing? We don't do that.
we don't do that. But I was like, what the hell is going on? It was just crazy. It was just surreal. And I can't even properly explain it unless you were actually there. But from my advantage point, none of the emergency things that they said that should happen happened. All I saw was caskets, people getting caskets, people going. Only emergency crews are going out there. The good thing, one of the good things that New York did, they cordoned off the area, like for a couple of, like for maybe 3 or 4 blocks. They shut off that area that the thing was that where it took place. But all the emergency broadcast things that I heard as a child, I didn't hear it or see it because I was even going in delis because you couldn't even leave New York for a certain time. It's like one of the movies, like Manhattan, where I was during Manhattan, that thing was shut down. It was like one train going in and out. And I had to find that maybe at 2 o'clock later that day. And then I couldn't even go to New Jersey. I have to go to my cousin's house in Brooklyn. And that's where my wife to be now, she came and picked me up from Brooklyn. So that September 11th thing happened. And I got married on December the 11th. Same year.
Wow.
Right. But my point is when all of these things goes down, all these precautions that we say we can possibly take, from what I see from my experience, it goes out the window. It goes out the window. I don't know, like
America doesn't have any plan. No major city has a plan in place for any major disaster, and it's horrible because when it happens, because it's gonna happen, it has happened. We're left with looking with what's the phrase? With pie in our face, like, and then it's all it's so horrible, and it's like no, well look, Mother Nature does whatever she wants. We know that. We just had a hurricane in New Jersey.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We need to make sure we're prepared.
I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig that wholeheartedly. But even though we know that the hurricane was coming, see, people can't assess the damage because there's so much variables with that too. Like if like a hurricane comes and wind comes with it and the water goes over the banks, water is a travesty. It get all in the electrical. It get all into everywhere. It consume everywhere. It destroys things. I don't know how you could properly plan for that type of thing. How do you plan like with Katrina? They told everyone to get out, and a lot of people did get out, but they didn't anticipate that the barrier that kept the water from the city breaking and the water rushing in.
Yeah.
Like how do you anticipate all of these things?
You don't know how powerful the storm's gonna be. I get you.
You don't know how powerful, and you don't know how.
You do something, man. You figure something out.
You
don't just ignore it.
You have to do something, and you can't say, "Oh, it's going to happen. Let's just stay here and die." I can understand that, but at the same time, I would say from myself that was down in 9/11, common sense is the best thing. Like it probably wasn't common sense of me to go towards the damn thing.
You think?
Go towards the thing, but common sense is the best thing.
All right. Well, we are basically out of time. We did not get through our entire list, but pending what we talk about next week, I might bring this back just to finish the list off.
Depending if Obama start dropping bombs.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, we may not have a show next week. Sorry. I'll be busy getting my supplies ready. I'm not playing no games. Listen, we want to thank everybody for watching.
Word up.
Again, we are here every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, and you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/itsalltruth.
Right. Twitter.
The Twitter is TBT Show.
YouTube.
YouTube.com/user/TBT Show.
Instagram.
Truth Be Told Tuesday. One word.
That's it.
All right, and
and the Ustream channel.
And here, where you're watching us currently.
Word.
My personal Twitter is RealEyez RealEyezMyst.
Word. And I'm H Hot W Substance.
All right. So again, we thank you guys for watching. Next week we come back. We gonna have another great show. I got movies I need to talk about that I've seen. I mean, all types of stuff, man.
What did you see? What's the preview? What's the preview?
I don't remember.
Oh. They weren't that good then.
Well, I watched them on the computer, so.
Oh, you know what Blackout does?
Yeah, but they were recent movies.
Oh, okay.
Chill out, the government could be listening. On that note,
that's true.
We'll see y'all next week, man. All right, enjoy your night. Peace.